안녕하세요. 림베이시 싱가포르 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요, 여러분들. Here I am in Istanbul in a nice neighborhood cafe, Kami, in a nice veranda. Just finished my daily morning live stream with my coffee live stream. You guys don't know about this, check out my live stream section and do join me for my live streams. Okay, just having coffee, and today I just want to chit chat with you guys, tell you guys another story about my misadventures around the world as a overseas Singaporean for the past 18 years, actually coming 20 years actually, on and off with the transition periods and all, about 20 plus years actually. Excuse me. So one of the most interesting first misadventures that I had around the world is this. Now, when I first left Singapore, I went to China, in Kunming China. So if you want to know how that happened, please check out this video where I explain how my whole overseas Singaporean life began, okay? Excuse me. Now, after I went to Kunming, you know, my business, I was actually surprised to find out that my business partner was actually a big time triad boss, a big time secret society boss who owns an entire street of entertainment stuff, you know, sauna and entertainment stuff, okay? Excuse me. Adult entertainment stuff. So he owned pretty much the entire street. So I was actually surprised because I was like, oh my, you know, I'm here in Kunming, China to look for business opportunities. And now I'm involved in secret society. But they are actually he's very sincere. He's a very nice guy, actually, the boss. And he really took me around and introduced me the opportunities in Kunming, which at that time the best opportunity was the Kunming Kaifachi, which is the Kunming new town, where there's a lot of real estate projects going on for very cheap, with huge growth potential. So I actually stayed with him in his home. He housed me in his home for about 2 weeks. I stayed with him, and over the 2 weeks, he brought me to every dinner, you know, like big dinner functions where he's the boss and everybody, all his kakia, you know, all his lackeys will sit around and then host him big feast. Almost every night they have this kind of big, very luxurious feast, and he will always bring me and sit me beside him. And now, because I sit beside the boss, now everybody looked at me and like, wow, this dude from Singapore is something, you know, to sit beside the boss every day like this. And you know what? Then something started to happen. Then one of them got clever. One of his lackey, one of his middle level boss, who oversees a few of his joints, started to contact me personally. So he started to ask me out for dinner, for drinks personally, one to one, and kept saying that he's very interested in the kind of real estate deals that I do. He's very interested to follow me to explore in other areas, because I did mention that I wish to explore into Shanghai eventually during that time. So that was 2004, okay, 2004, which is what, 18 years ago, okay, 2004 that was. And then you know what happened? So I thought it was just kind of like a casual thing. I didn't think too much about meeting him personally like this, until one night he asked me out one night for a drink, but he brought me into a dark alleyway. So I was quite scared, you know, like, what am I doing in this dark alleyway? And then the moment I went into the alleyway, 2 rows of very dim light, just light bulb, fluorescent light bulb just went on, boom. And you see, in the dark alleyway is a row of about 5 to 6 tables, and every table there's about 10 guys sitting around a table. And the moment we stepped into the alley, the lights came on, they all stood up and they all greeted me. Whoa. Then they call me Jing Li, Jason Jing Li, you know. Wow, and then I was shocked, you know, all of them bowed down, and then the guy, so the way I look at it, these are this mid-level boss man, and he gathered his men and then told them all that they are going to follow me from now on. oh my god, I just started a coup within the secret society ranks itself, you know. Wow. So I was actually, I immediately I knew, shit, if the boss knows about this, I'm dead, right? And you know what? The very next morning, so we just drank and then we go home. I went home. I said I'm not feeling well. Drink and then I went home. And you know what? The very next morning, the boss called me into his office. He has an office, by the way, and asked me, were you meeting with this guy, this middle level boss? I was. At that time, my blood just freezes over. Okay, can you imagine? Just I'm in my mid-20s, just a mid-20s kid, new from Singapore, never ventured out, and now I jumped from the fishing boat into the ocean, and now I'm meeting with sharks. Okay, can you imagine? My blood froze over when he asked, "Were you meeting with this guy?" And then I went like, yes. Then he went, what did he tell you? Then I cannot tell him that they want to follow me, right? So I just said something like, no, they just want to be friends. Then he said, did he ask you for money? Then I'm like, oh, they didn't directly ask me for money, but I did pay for everything the previous night. So then he went like, you stay here, I'm gonna call this guy. Okay? And I knew what's happening, man. I know the boss would never kill me because I'm friend of his wife back in Singapore. I'm kind of like the VIP here. But he's gonna kill that guy, 100%. So he asked me, stay here, I'm gonna ask that guy to come. I want you guys to cross-examine. I want to cross-examine you guys. So he went off for smoke or something, and then he asked one of his men to go call that guy. At that moment, my blood froze and my balls shrunk. And you know what? I ran into the apartment before they knew I was away. I grabbed all my luggages, I ran straight for the airport. Really hamji. I ran straight for the airport because I was using a Kunming phone card. Then there was no such thing as China phone card. Every province has its own phone card. I threw away the phone card. I bought an air ticket to Shanghai, and I flew straight to Shanghai. That's how I ran from gangland in Kunming, China. Yes, interesting story. I have a lot of weird, interesting misadventures around the world over the past 20 years. Okay, so stay tuned to this series as I share more of my stupid, incredible, silly stories. What do you guys think of the story? It's a real story, by the way. In fact, if you just trace, you could probably find out who that boss I'm talking about. It's probably still active. I don't know. I'm not sure, but he's actually very big time. So I bet it's not easy. It's not difficult to find out who he is in real life. But I'm not gonna mention names. Okay. Let me know what you think in the comments below.